Ready to go here. Let's start with the Zoom. There we go. Let's get we'll start there with Percy and then go to Jeff.
Hey, hi there. Would just love to ask you about the fourth quarter there. It's a 3-point game and you're on the road. Just what type of, I guess, composure, the things that it took for you guys to outscore them 24-14 in that fourth there?
You said for me?
For either.
Sorry. Yeah, I think just, obviously I feel like that shows the growth in our game, like when it is, a tight game, whether it's 3 points, 6 points, I think it shows where we like our strengths, which is defense. So I think we just were able to lock in defensively, capitalize on our stops, but just kind of sustain that lead. And I think that just comes with trust. Like we trust all 5 players, all 11 players on this team to kind of just lock in and execute our schemes defensively. So just knowing it's a 4-quarter game. So just knowing we just had to fight to the final puzzle.
Then for like Jill there, I guess the importance of this win against this team, just with everything that you've kind of gone through with this team dating back to 2020. I mean, it just felt you guys have just been in this thing for a very long time.
Yeah, no, we definitely have had epic games with Vegas. We obviously understand who they are and what they've been able to do the last couple of years, and it's been a monumental for the league. They kind of changed a lot of things coming in, and for us, we're stacking our days, we're stacking our games, we're building on what we're trying to do to get back in the conversation. And so for us, playing them is, it's important to see where we're at, but also know that we're right where we're supposed to be. We're not trying to rush anything. We're not trying to look ahead. We're not trying to do that. We understand it's still just the next game for us. And, tonight we came out aggressive, very active. And I think that helped us sustain what we did early on. So regardless of who we're playing, we want to maintain ourselves. And I think tonight we found ourselves and had that all the way through.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
And I hate to be the bad guy, but we have a lot of questions. So we're going to move along pretty quick here. Jeff Brown and then Masvidal.
Yeah, Jewel, just Skylar in the second half scored 19 points, 11 in the fourth quarter. Just kind of talk about what you saw out of Skylar tonight.
Yeah, she was picking her poison. She got into a rhythm, and her ability to get downhill helps a lot. And so she was able to do that. And once she sees a couple go in, then her 3 kind of goes, and she was taking what the defense gave her. I think they changed their coverages a little bit on me, so certain parts of the lane was open. But yeah, she was locked in, and she did a great job of controlling the pace of the game and seeing what was open and taking good shots.
Thank you.
And then let's go to Masvidal, and then we'll take a couple questions here in the group.
Jill, how many practice shots does it take to get to 5,000 game points?
Don't know. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to hear it and see it. But my first role is to be a scorer on this team, and so that's what I've been. But I obviously a lot of it comes from my teammates setting me up and coaches, putting me in the right position. But I'm proud. At the end of the day, I still got to make the shot. So it's a testament to just my skill set and what I do.
And then the importance of energy and activity for this team from start to finish.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think we, focus a lot on deflections as well as getting stops. I think when we're active defensively, it kind of leads to our offense. And so I think that's something that's important. Our bench energy is really evident. It was very evident tonight as well. So I think it just translates off the court, on the court, but we really lock in on deflections as well.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a question here in the room. Will you go ahead?
For either one of you ladies, I think it was pregame. I think it was to my question. I pointed out to Noe that 3 of the first 4 games, the losses were to up, where all your wins are bottom of the half standings. And did she take that in consideration and looking at, well, we've done well against these teams, but and she's called tonight a measuring stick. That stick looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we don't think about it like that. I feel like it's more of a coach's thing. She never brought it up to us about it, and for us, it's really just maintaining what we want to do. We're still a new team. We're still trying to figure it out. So regardless of how the schedule's laid out, it's still the next game for us. And we understand what it takes to get back to the top. Understand how hard it is to win in this league. So we don't take any game lightly, and every game is so hard in this league, regardless of the standings or whatever it is. So for us, we really focus in on us because we have so much to still do and learn with each other, and to know that we're still, stacking a lot of days and hours in the gym and a lot of film and making sure we're getting better. That's kind of our focus. And it doesn't matter who we play because at the end of the day, like everyone can get beat at day to day. So for us, we're making sure that we're coming in, maintaining our game plan and making sure we're ready for every game.
Away from the game, if I can ask you, Jewel, I'm working on a piece. I don't know if you saw the videos of Cam Brink and Haley Van Lith. I thought were really touching that they were invited to put the USA jersey on for 303. So I've been asking different players, Coach Cheryl Reed. It's a different elation, a different feeling, right? You won a couple of championships with the WPA. Talk about a little bit about the vibe, how different it is when you put that USA jersey on and play in the Olympics, not just Team USA, the World Cup, whatever, but the Olympics.
Yeah, it's different for sure. I mean, we both have experience playing at for our national teams and understand that it's bigger than just basketball at that point. You're also representing your family, your country, things that mean a lot to you. You're showing that. And so knowing that you're playing and doing something that you probably dreamed of or didn't think was going to happen or could happen, to do that for your national team is pretty awesome. It's definitely once in a lifetime thing, and you get opportunities to go back and forth. Sometimes you don't want to take it for granted because you never know, but sometimes you're like, man, like you kind of get used to it, but you kind of realize what it is and the history behind it. Definitely for USA, right? It's just such an honor. There's so many great players that have come through the program and I've started, and there's a legacy behind it. So anytime you have that on, you kind of are just like starstruck about it because you know the history along with it. So it means a lot to do that, to have a chance to go and play for your country and bring home a gold medal, the highest honor for any athlete to do. And so there's just a different, I'm gonna say pressure, but there's different privilege that you have having that USA on your chest.
Cool, we'll take a few more from the Zoom. Christian, go ahead, and then we'll go to Blake.
Hey, Ezzy and Jewel, coming to this game before the game, there was a lot of credit going to Vegas, deservedly so, being the back-to-back defending champions. And, as much as I understand that, this team has players as well that can, tussle just with them. Coach said that they have to guard us too, and then spoke to how well this team plays and what she's seen in practice and on the court as well. Just what does it mean to have a coach also talk about how well you guys are playing together and also just like the cohesion so far to date?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. It shows where, the coaches and the players are connected. It gives us a lot of confidence going into the games when we know what our coaches know that we're capable of. Like you said, Vegas are a great team. So, we know we have to guard them, but as Noe said, they have to guard us too. So I think just knowing that confidence stems from the coaches, but just, believing in ourselves that we can go up against teams like Vegas, because they are a great team.
We got time for one more. Let's go to Blake, and then we'll wrap up.
Hey, Jewel and Ezzy, this is Blake Spadar from Blake's Take and WNBA Swish. Asia, Jackie, and Kelsey had 50 points, and they took 49 shots between those three. What did the team do defensively to slow those three down and make it difficult?
We were just active on both ends, and I think when this team is active, we're so versatile. We can switch. We have different other schemes that we use as well. But when we're active, it makes things a lot of, it's just different. We have length to come off the bench. We have shot blockers on the backside. So for us, is when we kind of get our feet going and we're talking, communicating, it makes it easier for us because we actually know what we're doing. And I think it makes it a little difficult for other teams just because we are so active and we could do a lot of different coverages. So that was our main thing, just be active. They're so good, so you can't relax. The moment you relax, they could go up 10, blink of an eye. So for us, it's constantly just stay focused on our schemes, stay focused. And our bench was they were talking throughout and reminding us of things that we were forgetting. So it's a full team effort on that because you're not gonna stop them just one-on-one. So for us, this is everyone kind of hands up, call them Eagles, and hope that they miss.
Well, thanks, everybody. Before we go, Jewel Lloyd joins Diana Taurasi as the only players in WNBA history to have 5,000 points and 500 threes in their first 300 career games. Congratulations, Jewel.
Thanks, guys.
God bless you.
Sound good? There we go. All right, Coach, we'll go ahead and start with the questions on the Zoom. Percy, fire away, and then we'll go to Jeff.
Coach, just in terms of the big picture, you spoke about it a bit before the game, but now after the fact, now having done this, being on the road, sellout crowd, exciting game, you're up by 1 point in the fourth quarter, and it's just dramatic, and you just run away from this team that's kind of tormented you for so long. To win a game like this, it means what for this team?
I mean, it means that we can compete at a high level with, the best team in this league, one of the best teams in this league. It means that in hostile environments, allow the crowd and being on the road, that we can find composure and find ways to execute. And it means that this team is growing up. Again, we talk about these wins or these experiences being kind of morale boosters and confidence boosters as we're finding who we are as a team, and we're finding who we are as individuals and getting our feet under ourselves. So for this team to come into Vegas this early in the season and compete at a high level, it's a positive for sure.
And then you probably saw that the Lynx lost their game tonight. That puts you guys firmly in control of the West. Just your take on the road ahead of you guys, like these next two games could be, really important here.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this week in general, starting with Phoenix, that it was going to be a measuring stick for us. So, we got through Phoenix, we competed at a high level against Vegas, and Minnesota, same thing. They've gotten 2 wins on us, and we have to be better. We have to have the same effort and energy that we had tonight. And again, it's another measuring stick. I think that Minnesota has played very well to start this year. And again, we'll see where we match up against them.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks, Percy. Jeff, and then we'll go to Mazvita.
Yeah, Coach, they say defense travels, and it certainly traveled tonight. Talk about how important that was for you, and what you were most pleased with out of your team defensively, and how a result like that can just encourage the players to continue to buy in.
Yeah, we will continue to hang our hat on the defense side of the ball. And again, we had some lapses offensively, and what sustained us was our defensive effort. And that's going to we're going to continue to hone in on that side of the basketball, because we have individual, ability and talent with our matchups, but also our team is connected. And like you're saying, you said buy-in, I also used the word invested. They're invested to know that, this team can be really good on that side of the ball. And when we are clicking on all cylinders, then our offense feels a little bit better. I think that being on the road as well with a defensive effort like that shows a lot of resilience, but also shows what we can do with some firepower, with playing against teams with a lot of firepower.
Skylar had 19 points in the second half, and then also Ezzy had 14 and 15 rebounds. Just talk about both of their performances.
I mean, Skylar is a competitor. She always talks about the law of averages. No matter where she's at shooting wise in the game, she always has the confidence in herself and her abilities and talent to know that the next one is going to go in. And it's her confidence, her swag, her demeanor, that all matters at that position, to be able to still remain super resilient during the game, no matter what's happening for her. And then Ezzy, I know a lot of those points are in the first half. She jump-started us offensively by getting into the paint. But she went to go sky for some rebounds. She was very physical. She had tough assignments defensively. And I think, we're I think one time NECA said she was a heartbeat. I don't know if that was correct, if that was her, if Ezzy she was talking about, but it's just, she's steady for us, no matter what's going on, what she's doing defensively, how she's just focused offensively. She's been sharp to start the year, and it helps us tremendously.
Thank you.
Masvidal, go ahead.
Yeah, coach, how important is it for your team to get defensive buy-in in terms of energy and activity?
It's very important. We like to, have versatility with our defense. So there are times where we will be very disruptive, but also there are times where we need to be physical and solid and defend at a high level in the half court. And to have multiple ways to defend is important with this group. But the buy-in is going to continue to be important because our defense has been the thing that has sustained us, and that's what we're going to continue to focus on.
And then on Jewel, the 5,000 points, the consistency it takes to reach that. Can you just talk about that? And not only how she plays in the game, but how she practices to get to that.
Jewel's
milestone.
Jewel's a professional scorer. She's taken a lot of, she's done amazing things in this league to start off, and her rookie year till now. It's just amazing to see how she's blossomed into this butterfly. She's definitely spreading her wings. But what Jewel does in the off season is second to none. I went to go visit her in Chicago in this off season. It's not one workout, it's 2 and 3 workouts. It's running miles. It's doing things in the weight room, multiple basketball workouts. She works her butt off in the off season. And so the things that she's able to do during the season is a testament to the work, but also the intention behind the work. She knows that she has to be in shape. She knows that she has to be a shot maker. She also knows that she has to be very, proficient for us on the defensive end. And she's also bought into that side of the basketball, plus be a leader. And so all of that has to get worked on in the off season. And she's done an excellent job this season to start the year.
Thank you.
I have a question in the room here from Willie, and we'll go back to Zoom.
From the start of the season where you were still trying to figure the pieces out
Mhm.
and how everything to now, as far as the confidence and the depth of this team, where on any given night, you just don't know, is it sort of just kind of get the system out there and let them do their thing?
Yeah, a lot of it is not trying to overthink a lot, just kind of put them in places to be successful on the floor. You talk about Sammy, you talk about Jordan and Mercedes, and our flow helps those guys to get touches, to get rhythm. And honestly, what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball helps as well. But at the end of the day, sometimes you don't want to, I say it, there's beauty in simplicity. You don't want to overcomplicate the talent that we have and just, let them rock out. They're amazing basketball players. They're very smart. They're playing together. They're playing at a high level.
I talked to NECA and Kelsey Plum before the game to get their further field 25 days into the season as the president and VP of the WNBPA. And NECA being the president and the sort of that liaison for 144 to league. Have you felt that same role, and does it rub off in what she's brought since she's arrived and it seems natural.
Yeah, Madam President is what we're calling her. She's so presidential in her approach. She's a natural leader. And because of that, her presence makes a difference. Either it's what she's saying or how she's working. And she's been a great example for us as an organization and us as a basketball team. The thing that we know about NECA is that she's such a giver, and she gives of herself all the time. And so on the basketball court, we have to make sure we're supporting her and complimenting her and not giving her even more burden to lead all the time. And so I think this season has allowed her to just kind of settle in and hoop. We know that she does all of those other amazing things off the floor, and especially for this league, but we have a team that appreciates that and knows that and wants to, give their all for her as well.
All right, let's go back to the Zoom. We'll take one from Melissa Charleston, and then we'll go to Alberta.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks.
In terms of defense, you kept them out of the paint, especially compared to last year. I know Asia was hitting from mid-range, but Jackie Young wasn't getting inside. Kelsey Plum wasn't getting inside and downhill. What was key in terms of what you saw from your game plan
Yeah,
actually transposing on the court?
for sure. Tendencies and KYP, that was one of our keys today is, they're going to have actions at the end of the day when they get in isolated situations to know who you're guarding. And, those players are amazing downhill, but I thought, our pressure on the ball was really good. Our attention to detail in those actions were really good. And honestly, the entire team got the defensive belt today because I felt like we're all locked in on the defensive side of the basketball and really committed to try to keep them out the paint as much as possible.
Thanks,
And
Alyssa.
then just with the composure at the end, especially like late third quarter, fourth quarter, that place was loud. They were Alicia Clark hits a 3. It just feels like this is Vegas's time. Were you at all surprised with how well your team handled it? Like slowing down the pace. It was clear that was a message. Like you guys play your pace in your game.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in this environment a lot of times, playing Vegas a lot of times, and we've been on the other side of those turning into runs for them. And I don't want to say surprise. I don't know what adjective I would use, but when you have a solid leader and point guard in Skylar who is very poised, and you have Nneka on the floor, and you have Jewel and Ezzy who have grown up tremendously, and Sammy was in at that point as well. There's just a lot of veteran confidence, poise, resiliency on the floor at that time, and that gives me confidence to know that they're fine. Just kind of tighten back up and execute on the other end of the floor.
Thank you, Alyssa. We'll go to Oberta next.
Hi, Coach. Jackie Young had only one field goal this game. And the Aces had 7 turnovers in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I know that defense is collective. Basketball is a collective game, but who do you credit that defensive success tonight for?
Yeah, aside from our team defense being connected, I thought, Jewel had the individual matchup on Jackie. I thought she was locked into her scout, playing in her space. And, with a lot of players on this roster, it is about, sometimes you're not going to stop them, but you're trying to limit them and again, player tendencies. And I thought Jewel really did an excellent job on her. And as we rotated in, everybody was locked in on that matchup as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roberta. We'll go time for 2 questions. So Christian and then Belinda will wrap us up. Go ahead, Christian.
Hey, Coach. Especially in the beginning of the game, like having a point guard like Skylar at the point of attack, a lot of teams don't really kind of have that skill set at the 1. And then you add that with veterans like Sammy, Jewel, at the 3, and then you also have 2 generational defenders at the rim and Nneka and Ezzy. I don't think a lot of teams have seen a team as deep as Seattle when it comes to the defensive personnel. But I understand, Chelsea not being there and Jackie, being under the weather, this team still prevailed, especially we talked about numerous of times, whether that be moments in the game or it be stoppage of play. Those moments don't really affect this team, especially on the defensive end. Down the stretch, we've seen that time and time again. Just wonder if you could speak to that real quick.
Yeah, I think that again, it just goes to the investment into the buy-in. We know there are moments in the game, and we've had it earlier in the season. We know that there are moments in the game where it feels like this is a championship level stop that we need, or this is a championship level execution of offense that we need. And I think our mindset is in those moments to tighten up and lock in because it's necessary in that moment. And a lot of those moments have been defensively for us. And so you think about Skylar being on the ball and again, Ezzy being the anchor and the communication that's happening. You have to have connectivity and buy-in in those moments. And I think that we're finding ways to really just be sharp when needed.
Thanks so much, Christian. And Belinda, you'll wrap us up.
Hi, Coach. Echoing on Jewel's achievement, Nneka also reached 6K today. Can you just talk about her work ethic and what you've noticed about how she works on her craft?
She was in the gym yesterday, or maybe this morning. No, yesterday was before we left at 8 a.m. You know, having an individual workout before practice, and this is something that she does every single day. But that yesterday, I feel like she had 2 individual workouts. She is so committed to being better. She's already efficient. She already has great touch around the rim. She's extending her game. She's worked on her handle, but it's the hunger to continue to be better that makes her greatness shine through, whether it's in practice, whether it's in a game. She's just steady. She's so consistent because she puts the work in, and she doesn't go in the gym and work on something that she does not do in the game. She's working at game speed. She's just very focused. And again, we talk about dangerously disciplined. This is who she is, and this is why 6K is on her resume now, because she has not cheated this game at all. She's given her heart and her soul, her mind, body, spirit, everything, her whole being to this game.
And lastly, the energy that we're seeing on the court, is that transcending into the energy and the synergy in the locker room after these wins?
Yeah, it is. You know, obviously you feel a little bit better when you win as opposed to the opposite. It's synergy, chemistry, it's confidence boosting. You know, we have a really tight-knit, locked-in group who supports each other, very selfless group. Everyone knows their roles and they're holding each other accountable to those roles. And it's just a very high-spirited, positive locker room, and it's contagious. Not only in locker room, it's on a plane. It's, you know, wherever we're at, we have a connected group, and it's showing on the floor as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in the